Picture this: a live demo, a room full of executives, and a countdown clock that everyone in banking secretly fears more than an audit. Today's the day the bank unveils its shiny new client portal to the board. And naturally, everything that could go wrong decides to go wrong all at once. At 9:58 a.m., 2 minutes before showtime, the servers hiccup, the screen freezes, and the client portal displays a single, deeply unhelpful message. Error 500. Something happened. Somewhere, in the cold hum of the data center, a server sighs, as if it too knew this was coming. Enter Nick Cutter, VP of Server Systems, part-time magician, full-time cephalopod, who doesn't panic and doesn't apologize, because Nick has a signature move, the ink cloud. "This is clearly a network issue," Nick announces, adjusting his tie like a man about to perform surgery he has no license for. Possibly weather-related. There was humidity in the data center. The board blinks, because this is a room with climate control tighter than airport security. And yet Nick keeps swimming, offering up the vendor, an intern who touched a cable last Tuesday. And finally, gloriously, solar flares. Because, as Nick reminds everyone with total confidence, NASA hasn't ruled it out. Beside him, Williker Wildebeest. Derbes senses an opportunity to add zero value at maximum volume. "Have we considered the emotional landscape of this outage?" he booms, flapping his arms like he's trying to achieve liftoff. "It's symbiotic. The system is reflecting our own organizational stress." Somewhere in the back row, a junior analyst quietly updates his resume, sensing exactly where this meeting is headed. But the ink cloud, glorious and murky as it is, drifts toward one motionless figure at the end of the table. Demetrius Hedgie, business continuity master, keeper of receipts, and a man who has never once been fooled by weather. Demetrius doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't even look up from his laptop. He simply says, "Let's pull the incident timeline," and clicks one button, the button that ends careers. Up on the screen appear 3 alerts, flagged, time-stamped, and unmistakably ignored. All from the previous week, all addressed in cheerful red font to one name, Nick Cutter. It's the kind of evidence that doesn't argue back, and doesn't need to. Alert 1 read, "Server load approaching critical threshold." Alert 2 warned, "Disk capacity warning, immediate action recommended." And Alert 3, sent just 2 days before demo day, screamed, "Urgent, failure risk imminent." The room goes quiet in that specific way. Rooms go quiet right before someone's bonus dies. And Sid Vino raises one eyebrow, the eyebrow of doom, asking the question nobody wants asked. "Nick, were you aware of these alerts?" Nick's ink cloud starts to evaporate faster than his excuses can regenerate. "I may have seen something. Briefly, in passing, while multitasking, on a treadmill." Luka Drakov, unfazed, pulls up a chart showing alert acknowledgement timestamps versus actual outage time, and declares the correlation aggressively obvious, adding that the data does not care about your feelings, or your PowerPoint, or your treadmill. Mark Manchu Hamansi throws both arms wide like he's unveiling a Broadway finale. "So, let me get this straight. We had 3 warnings, and the response was nothing? If I had $1 for every ignored alert in this bank, I could retire and build an app just for ignoring alerts responsibly." Wildebeest attempts one final desperate maneuver. Perhaps this is a teachable moment about synergy? But nobody answers him. And somewhere, a tumbleweed rolls through the boardroom of the soul. The board, now fully awake and mildly furious, asks the only question that matters. Why weren't these alerts escalated? Nick attempts one last squirt of ink, claiming escalation protocols were unclear at the time. But Demetrius finally looks up, calm as a man ordering decaf, and delivers the line that ends it. They were clear. You just didn't read them. That's not an outage. That's a choice. The silence that follows is the sound of an executive's career quietly filing for bankruptcy. And by lunchtime, the story has spread through the building like free donuts in a break room. Someone prints out Demetrius's deadpan headline and pins it above the coffee machine. Financial institution holds world's largest data recovery scavenger hunt. Spoiler, no one wins. Everyone laughs. Everyone except Nick, who is now Googling career pivot to marine biology. Non-ironic. And that, dear viewer, is the moral of the story. Ink clouds are a brilliant defense mechanism if your predator is a fish. But if your predator reads logs, keeps timestamps, and remembers every ignored alert, all that ink does is show everyone exactly where you're hiding.